this is, of course, still the largest forced displacement situation in the world. If you add up those estimated to be displaced inside Syria, not only in Idlib, but all over the country, in many parts of the country, plus 5.5 million refugees in neighboring countries, you reach a total close to 12 million people. Just to give you a sense, we put out just a few days ago our so-called global trends in forced displacement. We estimate that in the world there's just a little less than 80 million people forcibly displaced, where 12 million are Syrians. So you can well imagine what a priority this continues to be, not only for the UN as a whole, as a humanitarian situation, but for UNHCR and its partners as a refugee and displaced people situation.
The United Nations deeply, deeply appreciates our partnership and collaboration with you. We very much welcome your convening, your leadership in that. We also greatly welcome the leadership you play in articulating the right way forward for Syria. And of course, we greatly welcome your leadership on the financial side as well. Just to mention again something I mentioned this morning, which needs more attention from everybody in the conference and all those who are concerned about Syria's future, and that is the plight of Syria's children. They are a generation of children who've been robbed, by and large, of an education. There's nearly 3 million of them inside the country who have not been able to go to school, who are still out of school. It's not too late to try to rescue the situation for some of those young people, and it's not that that is merely an act of generosity or a moral responsibility. It's also in the direct national interest of the countries who worry about the contagion effect of what's gone on.
And this conference shows that we are not forgetting the ongoing conflict. We are not forgetting the suffering of the Syrian people, and we are mobilizing international support behind United Nations Security Council resolutions, the United Nations-led political process to settle the Syrian conflict. We reaffirm that the only way towards a lasting peace is through United Nations-led intra-Syrian negotiations in Geneva, not by military operations. We urge full cooperation with UN Special Envoy Pedersen by all parties, so that the third meeting of the Constitutional Committee gets underway without further delay. The regime needs to understand that it has to genuinely engage in political negotiations. Only after it changes its behavior, stops the repression against its own people and engage in the political process, we can start talking about normalization. In the meantime, the humanitarian needs remain huge in Syria and Iraq.